Our question for today, why are beta blockers used in heart failure? Before we understand the meds, we really have to review the compensatory mechanisms in heart failure. We'll begin with the cardiac output equation. Cardiac output equals stroke volume times heart rate. Cardiac output we know is the blood volume pumped out by the heart in 1 minute. Stroke volume is the blood volume ejected from the left ventricle in 1 beat. So, if stroke volume is reduced, like when we have a reduced ejection fraction in heart failure, cardiac output suffers, and the heart is unable to supply enough oxygen-rich blood to the body and our organs. Our body's not too happy about this. Our body likes oxygen, and so it's going to compensate. One of the ways it compensates is by activating the sympathetic nervous system, which we know as the SNS, and releasing norepinephrine and epinephrine to increase heart rate. Because if heart rate increases, cardiac output also increases. Epinephrine and norepinephrine also increase cardiac contractility and vasoconstriction, all of these things helping to push blood and oxygen supply to the organs. Now, ultimately, we see an increase in cardiac output on the short term, but over the long haul, this neurohormonal activation damages myocytes and causes changes to the composition and shape of the heart, what we know as cardiac hypertrophy and cardiac remodeling. Beta blockers, if you want to get fancy, beta adrenergic receptor antagonists, block the effects of these catecholamines like norepi and epi, which are released as a component of that compensatory mechanism. Block activation of the sympathetic nervous system, and we have less vasoconstriction, less tachycardia, less damage to the myocytes, less structural composition change, and improved cardiac functioning in the long term, leading to our goal of reduced morbidity and mortality. Visit mobilehealthconsultants.com, subscribe for our videos, and next week you'll get your update on ACE inhibitors.